Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to FACEIT TV, and it is the first FPL show, and it's a bit of a pilot, so we're testing out the format, and I'm joined here by James, and it's going to be quite interesting to go into this today. How are you feeling?
I was going to wear an apron today, actually.
An apron?
I was going to wear an apron, Dan.
Chef James.
You know why?
Why?
Because I can. But I actually forgot, which is why. I was going to get you an apron as well. I'm going to get one with dots on, Dan.
You seem like a guy that has an apron that says "Kiss the Cook" on it. Like you seem like one of those guys.
Kiss the Cook.
Yeah, that's the classic.
I'm not familiar.
Oh, okay. I thought that was a thing. Well, first things first. So it's the FPL. This show is all about the FPL. But there may be some of you guys who follow the channel that aren't really sure what the FPL is. Maybe just follow the professional matches, the FACEIT League. But of course, we created this system where the professional players can play in a pug league on a ladder, and that's what this show is going to be about. That's the premise. So first of all, James, what is the FPL? How would you describe that to the audience?
Well, FPL is an acronym. It stands for the FACEIT Pro League. Basically, it was created so the professional players in Europe could all play pugs with each other, basically, without having to play versus random people in matchmaking and so on. I just want to play in an environment where they can all have fun together. Obviously, there's a certain standard level of play as well, which they will expect, and they can have a lot of fun with that,
And it's quite cool because it connects people, it connects players. We've already seen, of course, some players. Oskar is I suppose, the headliner in that sense, able to come up through the FPL, managed to get himself in there, and people started noticing him. All these pro players that play it, like, we had the tweet from JW. JW is just as the example. He noticed that Oskar was basically just wrecking everybody in the Pro League, and then a lot of heads started to turn, and with all the flux you have in lineups and which org is picking up which team and so on, there was a spot available, and Oskar seemed to fit, and he got that shot of Hellraisers, and it seems to be working out pretty well.
Worth noting, Oskar has been he's been playing the game for about 11 years, if I'm not mistaken.
Yep.
So obviously he's been around for a long time, but FPL is a platform where you can get that bit of recognition that maybe takes you over the line, as maybe it did for him.
Exactly, and it's also accessible not only to pro players or other high-level players through a voucher system, because we have this committee of course of the most well-known names who are able to kind of regulate the system through regulation through the peers. We also have, of course, qualification through just the platform itself, for the FACEIT platform. So, if you want to be one of those people, all you have to do is grind the Masters League, and the top 50 get selected to go through to a qualifier, where then you get into another ladder, and essentially you get a 5-day period, and then the top 5 players will be able to qualify through, and then you'll get a chance to play with the pro players. And just like Oskar, maybe you can have a similar story. Maybe you have been playing for a long time, but you just never got that shot, because that's what it's about. Sometimes it's hard to get noticed.
Yeah. Reach to the top of the mountain. All the vultures are waiting for you up there. I'm definitely on the grind as well. Unfortunately for me, I got Gold League this month, so it's another month of grinding. But in the meantime, I'm just going to try and keep my ELO as high as possible. And
that's a good point. One thing I want to quickly add before we check how the FPL looks right now with the rankings is if you're someone that isn't in the right league, let's say you're in the Diamond League, and you're thinking, how does it work? How do I get placed into Masters? How can I get the journey towards that qualifying period of 5 days? Well, essentially, because some people have said, you can win your placement matches, but you still don't. Even if you win everything, you still don't get placed into Masters. But that's generally because of the ELO system that's working for you there. So generally, what you need to be doing is grinding to the top of Diamond, and then that will allow you to play good enough players who have high enough ELO in your placements for the next month, which will allow you to qualify if you're victorious. So let's check out the players that are playing at the moment and see how things are looking. Or rather, the last month's leaderboard first of all. Let's see who was playing, because that was where this story really began. You can see Oscar's at the top there. He's almost got double the points of everybody else. It's pretty ridiculous. He was definitely putting in those hours. Yeah, making some paper as well. There is money to be won in these leagues, so he'll be taking home a lot of cash for that in the previous month. Olaf Meister up there. You can see all the top players, fnatic and IP, getting involved as well. So Robin actually was a qualified player, and he's just been straight up in there. Exactly. I was just going to say, we don't know much about Robin, and that is one of the premises. That's one of the reasons why we have this show here, is to be able to look into some of these players, feature them a little bit, spotlight them, see what's going on, and take a look into some of the matches that are happening, and see what's actually really going on inside of this crazy community that FACEIT's created of all these pro players and qualified players in this ultra competitive environment, which is also a little bit fun as well.
Yeah.
I'm sure we're going to see a lot of trolley actions in the games, more so than we would normally see in our FACEIT League. But yeah, let's have a look at the current leaderboard there, now that we've seen what has happened in last month's league. Here we go. So JChem, he's right at the top here, which is quite interesting. JChem and Stiko, and that's really cool because both JChem and Stiko are kind of new additions into big organizations. G2 Kingwin for JChem, a rifler, and Stiko, a similar kind of player in many ways, I think, when I have seen him. For Hellraisers.
Yeah, you can see Delpan's in there as well. Despite not always being in a top-tier team, he's always floating around. He always sends me invites at like 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'm half asleep, and I play with him, and I get absolutely raced. But now he can have more fun with other professional players. You can see new players in there as well. Random Rambo, probably grinding all day, even now he's in the league. 16k, no idea who that is. Maybe it's a new player as well.
Yeah, a new qualifier as well.
Nice.
So, and a lot of other names there. I think Flusher in the month previous to the last one.
The first one.
Yeah, he was the guy that was topping the leaderboard there. Flusher, obviously, quite the beast. And you know, speaking of all the players and the people qualifying and so on, and checking out this month's leaderboard, JChem being the top there, we decided to feature him a little bit and talk about JChem because we want to try to just focus in. Let's get to know these players a little bit. Let's let you guys actually understand who these people are and who they're playing for. What kind of personality they have. And we do have a short interview coming up in a moment. But what are your first thoughts on JChem?
Well, he's got a good opportunity. A lot of people consider him as the best player on his previous team. So, yeah, I mean, I want to see more from him, basically. See a little highlight video of him here. Yeah, he's regarded as the best player from his previous team, actually. Obviously, there was an option to get Twist as well, but that's another Rawper. So, Jake's the man with the plan. And, G2, they've had good results in the FACEIT League so far. Some people have written them off as a team, generally speaking, but they continue to improve.
It's funny because G2 was that team that they hired all the mercenaries, maybe the most expensive contractors. It almost had that kind of vibe to the team where you have all these fan favorites in one lineup together. And the guy that seemingly would have kind of broken this trend would have been the signing of JChem, because as you said, even though he had a great performances in his past teams, he wasn't necessarily somebody that was considered in the same way as a Michael Lele or a Scream. These kinds of players, even a Fox, they're all very starish kind of players. And so it's quite cool to see that JChem's been adopted by the team, and also that he's been playing so well for them, as we can see in that clip, just seeing some of his skills in action there. And we do also have a short interview with JChem, just a few words from him, and that's something we're doing every week as well.
I think FPL's impact on the professional scene is really good. A lot of new players showing themselves, and there is a much more friendly scene right now than before FPL. The bigger reason that draws me to play FPL is to play against other pros. That's always fun. Also meeting and learning to know new people is awesome. I feel FPL games is an effective way to improve yourself because you're playing versus the best every day. And that's what you need to do to get better. Of course, I always want to win even more when I'm playing against friends and teammates, that's for sure. Like me and Dennis always play versus each other. And I don't know the stats, but I think I'm up like 10-1 or something. It's always fun to play against Dennis. There is some players that has been improving really much. Oskar, that's now in Hellraisers, is insane good. And the same with the Danish talent, Config, that plays in SK. For me, that's the two guys that stand out for me and we need to watch out for. Me, Stiko and Twist is changing about being first, second and third every day. So I feel that's the guys that can take the gold from me right now. But there is a lot of players that's not even far behind.
It's kind of fun to get some insight there and see, like, he's just saying, I'm wrecking Dennis on FPL.
Yeah. And then he's like, I'm up 21. It's really fun to play against Dennis.
So the way it works when you queue in FPL is that everyone essentially solo queues. So you're not going to have team stacks and so on, or country stacks, blah 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 blah. Everyone solo queues, so you can be with all your teammates or against all your teammates. It's completely random.
Yeah, and it's really nice also to hear, just because the thing about this is that we can have JChem on in the future as well, like learn a little bit more about him in snippets, and that's something that's super cool as well. You can see like a little bit of personality coming out there. It's really nice giving, because there are a lot of players that don't stream, right? So So it's one of those things where we give them another platform, hopefully, and we can get to know more about them, because that just makes it so much more fun when you're watching the matches. Because I don't know much about JChem. He's, you know, looking at his results, this guy, he hasn't had any huge results, even if he's been playing for over a decade. This year, the most notable results that he's really had has been with Copenhagen Wolves, when they were able to come in top 4 in the top 2 in their group to go top 4 in DreamHack London. And I think their group consisted of G2, SK, and TSM. They managed to top that group. So there's some good teams in there. And also, of course, you know, Jacob's now moved on to one of the teams that he beat there. So that might have been one of the things that really made him stand out a little bit when he was playing against them on LAN. Maybe he made some connections there as well. But I like also the insight we got there into how much of the community vibe it is, which is really, really cool. Like kind of joining a family. So we do have we have a little competition going between me and James, you know, because we observe all the time. We're not there shooting heads like everybody else. So we're gonna have a bit of fun and pick our own little draft teams and try to beat each other. Yeah,
we can do that. There is a. I know. I'm conscious there's a game ongoing at the moment, so we could try and jump into that. But we can do a bit of a drafting first and see who's going to get wrecked. Probably Dan, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah, so we're going to select from the top 20 players at the moment, a team of 5 each, respectively, and then next week we're going to come back and check how our players are doing.
Can I pick first?
Sure.
Right, I'm going to pick Jacob, Twist, Dicko, Delpan, and Get Right. Since we haven't set out any rules, I'm going to abuse them immediately.
The funny thing about this is that you got to actually factor in that some of these players will be playing the major, James. So maybe they won't be playing much in the next week, right? Because they're going to be flying away. So that said, Delpan I think is a good pick. I'm gonna go Stiko, Delpan, Random Rambo, and give me. I don't know, James. I'll take Get Right as well. Give me some Get Right. No, I saw producer Reese there. He's like, why does no one pick Rattlesnake?
Well, there we go. All right. Let's see if we can get into the game that's happening at the moment. I think it's about 10 or 11 rounds in. Again, it is FPL Pug, so we're doing things a little bit differently here. We're just going to dive into games randomly and see what's going on and add our comments, our musings. Again, it is a pilot, so we are just going to see how it goes, guys. You make sure you give us some feedback. Tweet at FACEIT, tweet at FollowDDK, tweet at James Bardolph, or tweet at Gaben, whoever you like. I don't mind.
I've never tweeted Gaben actually, but that sounds like a good idea.
Does he have a tweet? Does he have a tweet, Stan?
He does have a tweeter.
He does?
Yeah, I'm sure he does. So
we've got Pitts, Twist, 16k.
Oh, we've got the new guy.
Max and was that Maxaki?
We're gonna assume that that's Maxaki.
Yeah, Maxaki and whoever the other one is. Who's the last guy? Okay, another qualifying first. We've got loads of qualifiers, this is cool. Robin, of course, a qualifier again.
And also at the moment. Modi, he's the guy that sometimes you get say, oh yeah, that guy, he's still here, he's still playing. It's quite cool to see Modi in the FPL actually. Because of course, you know, some people will remember that Modi was just like this guy that would just join Fnatic, leave Fnatic, join Fnatic, leave Fnatic, join Fnatic. It's like a revolving door, and Modi was always on the way in and on the way out. But he was always like a really super high skill player in 1.6. He's kind of like, you know, I had like the vibe from people that played with him that he's kind of like the simple in some senses, a simpler mold. Just a very, very skilled player. You feel like you kind of really want to have him on your team. He's so damn good. But at the same time,
he's a rager.
He's hard to play with, yeah. He's hard to play with.
Yeah, I used to like watching him play. It's a shame. Always sad when he disappeared from the team again. So, just admiring the flames there. Robin's made his way all the way into the back of Pitts.
Hey, you know the cool thing with Modi as well is that with Counter-Strike in the way
wondering what's going on. Pug life, Dan.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
Yeah, just saying, like, the funny thing with Modi is that the way Counter-Strike is going at the moment, this game really looks like it's going to last for quite some years. I don't want to jinx anything, but he's the guy. That guy has so much experience. Maybe we'll see him back in a big team someday. I don't see why not. I really don't see why not.
Yeah?
It could absolutely happen. As long as he doesn't get backbanned, James, then it won't happen. If he gets backbanned, a lot of your life is over.
Yeah. I was asking Delpan, you know, he was up there recently. I was asking, he said he was maybe joining a team, but then what does maybe mean anyway? You never know of him, but it was really interesting that period of time where we had those trials coming out for NIP. You saw Delpan trialing. You know, we had those games. Everyone was super interested to see that kind of stuff happen. So that was always a good time. So there are some Nordic players, if you like, if you will, or Scandic maybe, Scandic players floating around.
So is Pleston a qualifier as well? I would imagine so, right? So and Beng, did he qualify? Was he?
Benji.
Oh, it's Benji. Ah, okay, awesome. Oh, of course, Tomáš, Benji.
Beng.
Beng.
Sponge.
Sponge. Okay, this is cool. I think one thing we can do as well is we can like actually just go to certain povs and just check out what dudes are doing. We can talk about it. Like, actually, I would like to see Modi next round. I want to see what Modi's going to be doing next round.
I like the sound of that.
Yeah, let's check out Modi next round.
Look, all the shotguns on Pitt's team, Double, Mag 7, and the Sawn-Off. You know, Pitt having a difficult time on his team at the moment, having to play with American matches with 3 of their players in Europe.
Yeah, you can see that he's... The thing is that's like an incredibly frustrating situation. So obviously when you're watching them, you can really see that they're definitely a little bit deflated, and they're not necessarily trying as they would, you know, if they don't have like the level of morale there.
Motivation's going to be low.
Yeah, exactly. So you can see that it's like really straining, but in an environment like this is where like Pitt really is great. Like this is kind of like the environment that he came out of. It's just his insane individual skill, just applying it. He was like the #1 mercenary stand-in for ages.
Yeah.
We'd have all these leagues, and he'd always be the stand-in. It doesn't matter like if there was DDoS. It's like, I wonder who's going to stand in for this. Oh, of course, it's Pitt.
Maybe it's going to be Pitt.
Every single time.
Yeah. And again, these players who are not on teams floating around, like Modi here, and other players from similar regions, like, you wonder if they're going to find themselves, oh, like, you know, we play together, we don't play together so bad. And go into mixed teams and tournaments, obviously. We have qualifiers for DreamHacks and many other tournaments on the FACEIT platform as well. So you often see players like Modi in mixed teams playing these qualifiers, so maybe that's something else that will come out of FPL over the long term. These guys are all communicating with each other as well.
Let's stay on Modi for a while and see what he's going to do. I like that we had the X-ray off here, because we can also talk about like some of these positions that these players are in. Like obviously, okay, he's going to get wrecked there, and we're going to go to Benji, but he can make this happen.
I feel like the jumping again is something that people are still not adjusting to, and I do wonder how long it's going to take, because, you know, before that hitbox change, there was a good chance that a lot of the time he is not getting tagged there. But now you can't get away with jumps like that. You just almost never can. And Device actually is one of the best players at punishing people for jumping, especially on Dust 2, as we saw this week in the FACEIT matches. So that's just one thing I'm generally keeping my eye on is how players start responding to where they can and cannot jump. We saw, I think it was I want to say Furlan playing Mag 7 on Inferno. Not Inferno, sorry, Mirage. On B, where he was getting punished for jumping as well.
Ooh, twist with the orb. Yeah, it's generally getting to be the situation where everyone's basically worked into their mechanics when it comes to the crosshair placement, and then once you've kind of done that, it like loses a lot of power. Now you can actually hit those dudes, because people just know the kind of spots. And that's kind of cool, because in that sense it also means that the skill ceiling is a little bit higher, because there are always going to be these players that are so anal in this situation where they'll have perfect crosshair placement in like every single spot. Some players are a little bit more lazy with it, and of course those players who aren't as focused, who aren't as crazy hardcore on the crosshair placement, they're not going to get as much out of the game, but you can get punished so hard by the jumping. And so I actually kind of like that we have a lot of that the jumping is in the gameplay. I think that's actually a good addition in this game.
So producer Reese just told us that Plesson and 16K are both Swedish,
cool.
Which is interesting.
Cool.
So I wonder if all the how many of the general Swedes you have floating around will end up in the FACEIT League on that grind.
Well, this is a sucky position. Here goes Pitt. He's got 1 kill. And one is going to be going back towards B. So this is pretty nice. He's actually going to create a situation for his team where they pretty much have the round at this point. I don't think there's any way that they can, the CTs can actually win this one. Unless Robin goes pretty ham.
Well, teammates miles away, and that should be the round because Modi has a long rotation. It is a pistol, but he doesn't have a defuse kit. So he's going to have to get frag super fast. C16K just has to hide now behind the chicken cube, and they can double peek. Well, you will probably not expect them to be in the same place. Oh, he's out here now on the site. Again, just dancing around. Oh, come on, dude.
What? What the hell was that?
It took a mere 18 bullets. 18 bullets to kill him there. But all he had to do was actually aim at his head and shoot once, and he would have killed him.
Spuds.
Shoot at the head, man.
My God.
It's that panic.
One thing you notice though is that because when you turn the hitbox away from the player, so like the head is facing the opposite direction, and you look down. Actually, it's harder to headshot you because like I don't know the way the hitbox actually acts though. But I've seen a lot of top players when they're going for like defuses or they're trying not to get headshotted, they actually do that. They'll like try to make sure that they're not facing towards the guy shooting them, and like crouch and look down, stuff like this. So there's definitely something going on there with the hitboxes.
Is that still apparent with the new hitboxes though?
I'm not sure exactly because it used to be a thing. Like the diffusing hitbox was just like, and planting hitbox were like completely messed up.
Yeah.
That used to be a really big deal.
Yeah, it was, but all those hitboxes have gone now.
I wonder if, like how it feels. It's still, I think it's harder to shoot someone in the back of the head than it is when you shoot them in the front, I think. I'm not sure.
Everyone just gets headshot when I aim, man.
Oh.
I don't know what to tell you.
The new Scream, British Scream.
Yeah, except last time I checked, like when I play deathmatch, I always try and channel my inner Scream. To the point where it got so bad one time that I actually forgot how to spray the AK because I was trying to headshot people so much. But I have, I think, 32,000 kills on my AK, and he has like 170,000 kills. So I'm still a long way behind Scream. Maybe I'll get there one day.
Yeah, well, looking at the situation right now, it's going to be, it's actually kind of a close game. We've got to sit. So let's see like who's doing well and try to figure out what's actually going on. Moddy's actually been using a lot of shotguns so far. Pretty much only seen him on shotguns.
Yeah.
He's going to get tagged down now, but the thing about this system as well is that these players have to communicate with each other. So it's not going to be like communicating with your team. It's going to be a little bit different. Everyone generally has the same calls, or you all kind of know the multiple calls for the same spot, playing with each other. But that's going to create some chaotic situations. And it looks like Team Pits has called the A push in this situation.
Yeah. What's interesting about Moddy's shotgun is that for that one to be effective, they more or less have to commit to the jump. Otherwise, they'd be better off with the Nova, because it has a much longer range, so he can headshot with them with that. Whereas with the Sawn-Off, it's going to be a bit more difficult. But obviously, he's picked it up from one of the T's. So Benji's gone down. Robin is on the going for that super long range Mag 7, but the players are tagged enough that he can actually do this. Flying Mag 7 is real. You can see the headshot came off there, but obviously shotguns fire shells, so it would be one of the other shells that landed, which will have made the kill there.
Actually, Pitt is somebody that would be really good to put on your little draft team because he'll probably end up playing a lot of FPL, and he's such a good pug master. Okay, so Questone, one of the qualified players, is actually a teammate of ex-teammate of Sticko, and who was the other one?
I think Reese would just say it on stream so everyone can hear.
Oh yeah.
Questome is an ex-teammate of Oskar and Sticko on Fraternitas.
Nice.
Yeah, that team has produced some good players, it seems. Fraternitas. It seems like one of those teams that's like the players kind of get good on the team and then leaving the team. Which kind of there are some teams then Ogs that end up
journeyman team. Yeah,
they just end up being those guys, which kind of sucks for them. But it's
I'm wondering if CPH Wolves will be. Well, I think it is going to be one of those teams as well. You saw Jake get picked up, and Twist. I think Twist will eventually end up on a bigger organisation, maybe. We'll have to see.
It's pretty hard to win CT rounds as a mix, I gotta say, on this map. It is pretty rough. If the T's have any kind of coordination, it can be pretty annoying, to say the least.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, with most of the time, most of the people I play with, Counter-Strike with, have no idea how to play Counter-Strike as a team. They have like very good individual skill, and they'll be global in matchmaking and blah 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 blah. When it comes down to playing Counter-Strike, they suck. So that's one of the good things about FPL, is that obviously you have a high tier of skill, and these players will generally know what to expect from each other.
Yeah, most of them playing on pro teams means that most of them will have the good habits, or should have the good habits. Although that said, maybe some of them are like, hey, I'm playing some pugs, I want to just run around, run and gun.
Yeah.
As well, maybe that's part of it. I think there's merit to that too, because a player like Pitt, you can just see him just walking forwards and wrecking people. It's good to put yourself in those positions. Like I like to, like for example, the times that I've played matchmaking, I understand that I go in with the expectation to expect like just nothing from my teammates.
All your teammates to be morons.
Exactly, and that I will have to, on the T side especially, I'll have to make all the opportunities. I'm gonna have to try to create like the the 5 versus 4 or 3 situation for the team, and if I die, that's okay, because at least then I've given them a position where they can take initiative. Because people suck at taking initiative, generally speaking, so I like to do it for them by wrecking everyone.
Now I understand. Now I understand, Dan. When I play with Dan on Mirage, he always runs up a ramp
Taps people.
and just tries to kill everyone immediately.
Pretty good success rate, most of the time. At least that's what I'm going to claim.
Okay, so Pit's team 4-round lead at the moment. Kill, he's up there with the kills along with Twist. Twist's AWPing was quite nice earlier, but it's actually Modi with the AWP now on the CT side, so he's completely changed his position. He's going to be going to play the B bomb site, but Plessum's gone down already. Robin coming in with the trades. So we'll see who's going to get control in the next few seconds. A bomb site's almost been lost here.
I actually think that's the hardest to hold as a mix. Like
What?
The A side of that with 2 CTs against like a bunch of dudes running at you. I think that's like the hardest thing to deal with, because you don't really have the teammates flashing for you and stuff like this, and like that's one of those setups. A bit like, you know, when you play Inferno with a teammate on the CT side that you've never played with before. It feels like a new relationship, like a new budding romance. You don't know what to expect, James. It could be wild and passionate, or it could be a huge failure.
Could indeed. Slightly violent as well.
Yeah.
So you can get good timing on the T side, running into where Modi is peeking now. I don't know exactly the time. I kind of do it on feeling, but you can time a HE grenade. So the kind of time when the CTs would peak, the nade will land there, and you can just spray them down at the same time. It's really brutal if you're on the receiving end of it. But no, there are many different kind of timings like that on every map in Counter-Strike, but that's one of the easier ones to do, because it is a very common peak, especially in pugs, for aggressive players to go to.
Yeah,
I haven't done a nade video yet on Cobblestone.
Oh no. Oh no.
I might do one soon. Cobblestone and Overpass.
We actually have a video at the that will run at the end of the stream here today as well, which is well, I can actually talk about that a little bit later. This is not a time, James.
That's almost a kind of nade timing I was talking about. You saw the flashbangs. They went for a flashbang play there with a push through the doors, which is an alternative. But you saw it caught the CT out, and he was unable to do anything about it. I think we saw a double flash and a nade go in there, so he was completely blind and got taken down for free. So that's a perfect example of the nade timings I was talking about. So try those at home.
Yeah, nice. We saw a 16k getting the clear on the B bomb site there for his team. He's going to be playing off of pits as well. He's got the bomb, so he can go and plot that. So cool to see 16k going for the covering shots now. Let's see if he can hold this down for pits. Again, he's a qualifying player from Sweden. Sweden. I don't know how to say 16 in Swedish. Someone can tweet me that. That'd be great.
16, no.
Actually, I have an idea. But anyway, here comes Robin. I don't think they've expected this, but Pit, is he watching? 16k. Oh, he gets a shot on the no-scope. Nicely done. That's going to be pretty rough now for Dumas' team. Team Dumas. They're going to go for the force buy. Uh-oh. Now, I do wonder if there's going to be any kind of comeback here, James. Because I don't have faith, because on the CT side here, it's so hard to deal with these T players. It's so hard to deal with the aggression.
Look at it. Ooh, that's a nice smoke, actually. Look at that. That is a really nice smoke. I'm stealing that, Dan, immediately. Yes, thank you very much.
That's something like you cannot fail this.
Yeah,
it's
a fast one. It's a consistent one. I like it. That's actually a really good smoke, because when you're playing the Mag 7, then you can have a lot of power with that, because they're going to jump out the smoke blind should they choose to jump out. The only problem is that's actually a good smoke for the T side to throw flashes through. I don't know if Reese can navigate us to the top of drop zone. Is Producer Reese able to do this?
He seems conflicted, James, with this idea.
I think he's distracted by a fly then. There we go. So it's that wall on the left. If you're facing that wall, you can throw a flashbang off that, which then bounces into drop zone. So with the smoke that Modi through, that will basically, he may hear the bounce off the wall. Other than that, he'll have no warning. And where those T's are now, that's a common place you see, for example, Blade from flip side will throw a flash from there. Oh no. Things getting a little bit desperate here for the CT side.
If only he used the smoke that we were talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, so you know where Blade, if you look at Blade, where he flashes his players in.
Well, look at Tomáš, man. They actually saw him go here, but this is what we're talking about when it comes to the communication. But 2 players saw him just run there, and Tomáš is actually gonna get a kill with it. So he keeps the chance alive for his team. This is just one moment of ridiculousness. I expect many more with the kind of communication that we might be expecting.
Yeah. No, I actually wanted to one day like cast a matchmaking match, but now we have FPL. There is no need. So, Moddy's actually got himself a good position, but it's turning a bit sour now. His teammate's gone. 16k. Oh, the knife in the back. The problem is he going to go for the kill straight away? Oh, I thought he might do this. Where is the other player? That's the question he's asking. Oh no, he almost missed him! Through the tree. That will be that. So, Pitt's team will come out with W. And I was thinking, Pitt with almost a 30 bomb there. I was thinking that, you know, Pitt's in a situation where he's playing for a North American team, but he's in Europe. So, obviously, there's a ping issue, but also, I mean, he's not playing games until like 2 o'clock in the morning, his time. So, all he has to do, really, is play FPL all day, right? Because he's a pro player, that's what he does. So, did I pick him on my team? Because if I didn't, I'm probably an idiot, because I know they're having some visa issues at the moment, which means he might be stuck playing FPL for a while, so he probably will win this month. Let me see.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying about Pitt, man.
I didn't pick Pitt. That's
what I was saying when we went into the match. I was like, this guy, this is like the prime choice.
The de facto.
But I think we both missed him.
Oh, we did. Oh, that's right then.
I think we both were like, let's pick all the guys who are going to the major, and so we'll be playing this week, basically, because we're awesome. But yeah, so we will have another match coming up pretty soon, I do believe.
Yeah, I think Devil Walks in that one.
Okay, so that will start relatively soon. That means we can. We have a topic to talk about, James.
Do you have a topic?
We have a topic to talk about. Yeah.
What is it?
So every week we're going to talk about one
something.
Topic. And today I want to talk about the major because it's right around the corner, and I know you're going to be flying all over the place, so we might not get another chance on there to talk about it.
That is a good point, actually. Yeah. I'm going to Milan on next week. And then I'm flying back to London and then flying to Romania on the same day.
Okay, so this is the topic, right? So I wanted to get predictions out of you because you are notoriously terrible at making predictions.
Dan, did you hear that?
You always hide behind, oh, I don't have facts. No one has all the facts, James.
Did you hear that I'm doing the major?
I may have heard that, James. May have heard that. So I want you to give me your top 4 prediction for the major.
Top 4.
And I want you to explain a little bit.
I don't have all the teams to hand.
Well, you must have an idea of the top 4.
Yeah, but I need a full spectrum. Have groups been released or anything like that?
It doesn't matter, James. Who do you think are the top 4?
Top 4? Well, I mean, let's see. I'll say NV and TSM. Okay. See, the problem, I think in this situation, Na'Vi or Virtus.pro should be in there. Na'Vi hasn't been fantastic recently. I mean, they didn't even qualify. They got bodied by Hellraisers in the qualifier, and then Dozier disappeared. I saw him in a hotel actually in Serbia, but I didn't ask him anything. So I'd say TSM and NV. fnatic, I'm expecting them to play better on LAN than they have been playing online, but there seems to be some general frustration. I think it's hard. I mean, I think there's a lot of. I think beyond those two, there's a lot of places that are potentially interchangeable. I think we could see Nip in the top 4. We could.
You think NIP?
I think it's possible.
You are mad.
I think NIP, Na'Vi, or Virtus.pro. I think at least one of those 3 will probably be in the top 4. But I would probably lean towards Virtus.pro. But then you know what Virtus.pro like sometimes as well, when they can be inconsistent. So. And it depends on the draw. Like if Nip get a good draw in the initial stage, then they might have a good chance of making it to the top 4 later on. So I've only picked 2 teams then.
And you haven't even told me who you think is going to win.
Well, you didn't ask me that. You said
top 4, like top 4. But I want
in order.
Yeah, who do you think has the best chance other than to win? There must be a team right now you feel like, okay, I feel like he's going to win. But actually, a quick point on what you're talking about when it comes to fnatic. fnatic could even be in this position. Do you remember when NIP won Cologne? And it's like everyone was looking at NIP, there was all this pressure, they were playing terribly, and they still managed to somehow win against all the odds. And this is actually more or less where the Nip Magic thing actually came from, because no one felt like, even from watching their games, you're like, they are losing all these games, but then they won the major still somehow, and everyone's very, no one could tell you how it happened.
The only
maybe Fnatic will have a tournament like that.
Nip are an interesting team though, because one, like as far as we know, they don't have a coach at the moment, which means with all the matches they're playing, how much time do they have to watch matches? So they're playing a bit free flow at the moment, which is going to make it harder for other teams to counter-strat them because of the way they're playing. Although their CT side won't be as free flow as their T side, so they may still have some problems there. And I think that could end up being their downfall. Maybe just the lack of research they are maybe able to do on other teams. I don't know what the situation is there, so we're only guessing at the moment. So I'm not finished, Dan. All right. So TSM, I think are the most. If I had to pick a team to win, I'd pick TSM.
Okay, that's
cool.
And
I think Envy. Maybe we'll have a TSM Envy final.
Okay, that's cool. I'm gonna settle with that answer because I don't know that
because it's Dan's turn to talk.
No, because I don't think we can get anything better out of this. I think that's good.
You're probably right.
I think that's good. So
what is your opinion then?
Well, I think TSM as well. I'm looking at a TSM in the finals. I think they stand the best chances to win, and I think TSM Envy statistically and how the teams look right now is probably good. As far as the third, fourth place goes, I'm gonna have faith in Fnatic. I think Fnatic and Virtus.pro are gonna make it through. So it's a pretty boring answer. It's kind of expected, but I think these are the most consistent teams going to the tournament. So, but I want us to do a little bit of an AMA, James. We used to do this from time to time, just a short little AMA. So you guys can ask us some questions in the comments. And
in the chat, you mean?
In the chat, yeah.
This is not YouTube, Dan.
It's not YouTube.
This is Twitch. This is live.
This is indeed Twitch TV. Ask us some questions. Ask anything you want. Producer Reese is going to pick a few questions. He'll read them out over the stream. And whilst you guys are building up some questions, we have some skins that we'll be giving away. And I think that we're working this, James.
We can do a stat track M4 Asimov. But
okay,
you don't have to type giveaway or any of that nonsense. You can just ask a question. Anything that's typed will be an entrance.
Exactly. So but just the mere matter of asking us a question will enter you into the raffle.
Nice.
For the, what was it? I forgot already.
Stat Track M4 Asimov.
Stat Track M4
I don't know what
Alright.
condition it is. Who cares?
Cool. All right. Well, I
have a question for you, Dan.
Yeah.
I don't really have a question for you. But while we're waiting for the questions, we might as well go back to my question and see if I can bring out a third. Oh, Fnatic. I think like just looking at how they've been playing online, I think there's potential for them to be upset. But the question is, upset by who? Who has enough skill? I don't think we will necessarily see the Cloud9 that we saw at DreamHack Valencia.
Nope.
Because, well, firstly, they were still in a kind of honeymoon period where, oh, let's actually put some effort in, and then taking everyone by surprise. So I'd say, time has passed and there'll be more.
You know who they are right
solved.
now?
Who are they?
They're like, we're going to enter this tournament. And we're going to ruin the tournament for somebody, but we're not going to win.
Gatekeepers.
That's what they're going to be, I think.
Gatekeepers.
Yeah, the ruiners.
That's hilarious. You're seeing that a lot in Street Fighter at the moment, where people have qualified for the Pro Tour finals.
Yeah.
They're just going to all the other qualifiers and bodying the same people, stopping them from qualifying. It's hilarious. Anyway.
Oh, really? That's
yeah. Producer Reese has questions. That's actually happening. Infiltration is doing that all around the world.
What? Oh, my God. That
amazing.
is... Wow. What a guy.
What do you think of the new train?
Dan.
I think the new train is interesting because it's actually still developing quite a bit. I think it's quite a simple map, but there's a lot of nuances to it, and the way that the patch actually affected it quite a lot because it made the Ts have more favorable engagements. And so what we're seeing right now is a shift in the meta game. So from this perspective, for me, just from the meta aspect, if a map can be played and you can play good Counter-Strike on the map, because train is kind of weird in that, unlike the rest of the maps, it doesn't have. Like there's not a lot of map control going on. You either have a bomb site or you don't, more or less. That's basically it. So that means that the CTs can't really push anywhere because they don't need to, because they're always on the bomb sites, and that's the entire map, more or less. So it's quite a simple map, but I like that in the simplicity you can have a lot of differences when the meta game is concerned. Because we saw again lots of executes, Virtus.pro Na'Vi, just the kings of train with all that kind of a style. Then all of a sudden we have this style that G2 love, where they can say, okay, we'll throw maybe one smoke. We only need to know one smoke. Then we'll rush in, and we'll just aim everybody out. And that's kind of more of the style we're seeing at the moment. But there's still like little developments that are coming into play. So I'm actually content with train.
I like the reasons you go for it in the sense that basically what you explained with the bomb sites and its simplicity. It makes it different from the other maps in the map pool, and that's obviously a good thing. you know, when the map first came out, obviously it was messy because people didn't know really what to do. You were seeing like YouTube strategies come out, basically. Oh well, we can put this here. Let's put this here, Dad, and then they'll just go with that. We've seen it develop. We've seen teams understand the importance of main and trying to. We've seen Olofmeister abuse main and just absolutely dominate people by just simply walking through it on a T side. We've seen people try and control it with Cloud9, choking it off with smokes and so on. And then we've seen that little microcosm continue to develop as well in different ways. So I like it. Basically, I think Dan put it well. I only have a few points to add to it, as I just mentioned. So I think it's a good variation.
Like there's another point here as well, because adding to its simplicity, but that's kind of like a cool dynamic that actually makes it exciting to watch. Is the this dynamic where where you're saying like it's quite easy sometimes to just get out into the yard, and this is kind of problematic for teams because when that happens, the teams can start crawling towards all these like horrible positions like quad and stuff, and under where T Sky used to be, and these like annoying positions. So teams are responding by playing 2 players close to Pop Dog and T Main, and this is like really hard to do very well. You need to have good aim, you need to have good team play. If one of those players dies, then the T's getting a lot of ground, and then the guy who's let's say left on Pop Dog or maybe left on T Main, depending on which DT died, all of a sudden has 2 angles to worry about instead of 1, so it becomes like much harder to defend. So only the like really skilled players can do it. But then also if you're playing guys really far up as a response to fast aggression from the T's, then you've got less players who can help Ali. So then Ali is very fragile. So you have like all these different. There's like it's very simple, but it's still exciting, I think. So I think it's doing something right. I know a lot of people don't like it, but yeah.
I believe the next match is live actually, so we can come back to the questions a bit later on and pick a winner a bit later on as well.
Okay, so the next match is ready. We should jump straight into that one. I feel like we learned a few things. It was cool to see 16K in the last match, and he's actually present in this one as well. So
I think 9 of the 10 players are in this one as well. I don't know who the new guy is.
No, they're all the same, I think.
Moken. What is that? I don't know who that is.
Oh.
Moken's a qualified player as well. Cool. And he's also Swedish.
Of course he is, James. I used to play on a 1.6. Oh, this is actually funny. So I used to play on this this site called, I think it was like Svenska Spel or Spel Arena or something like that. Which
what was on this site?
Like spell means like play.
Was it Counter-Strike or was it something else?
Yeah, 1.6. It was for 1.6. But to play on that bomb site, to play on the website, you needed like a Swedish identity card or something to prove that you were Swedish. And so someone gave me their identity, James. And I was playing with them. Oh, lost identity for a short period of time.
Interesting.
Yeah, that was fun. So I got to play with the Swedes, and they're like, "Why do you have 80 ping?" It's like, well, the thing about that is,
it's those downloads.
It's like, why are you talking to us in English? Well, the thing about that is,
well, my name's Dan.
Hello.
I used to play 1.6 in this community called. It used to be called WTF.uk.net, and it was run by a team called Elite Fighting Corps, which was headed by a guy called Rue, who's still around actually. I don't know how old he must be now, like 50s or something. It's crazy. And that was a lot of fun. I used to have a lot of fun there. We used to play with a lot of Belgian players actually. I still play with one of them, although I had an argument with him and he deleted me. Because when I play with him, he never talks on the microphone because he's shy, which is ridiculous after playing CS with him for like 13 years. So I shouted at him and then now he's not here anymore. There we go, sad story. Double Ops coming out for the CT side, and I'm really trying not to commentate as normal, Dad.
I know, right? Yeah, well, it was so interesting to see like what some of the players are doing. So again, I think we should actually try to follow a player.
It sucks for
talk
16K
about what
here,
they're doing.
because like his team are basically dead and he's just waiting for a smoke to go. That's the worst feeling. It's like, come on guys, I haven't even got through a smoke and you're all dead. What can I do with this?
It's kind of cool thing as well in the pugs is that you can just kind of be more explosive by yourself because the setups and the CTs are not going to be as tight as it would be in a pro match. So if you're like really skilled, you can do some crazy stuff. And he's got a pretty sick position now. All the CTs kind of think that it's going to be everyone's in the B apps, and look at this. There's like 5-pronged setup almost from the CTs. And 6K is going to die, unfortunately. But yeah, what player should we follow? Because I think we should follow a player and then talk a little bit about what their role is, what they're doing, what's going on.
Pick one who has a gun. I'll say that. Triple Ops now. That's Triple Ops on the Mirage. So where does the third one go?
So I think producer has selected Dumas for us. So He's got the AK. And he's going to be the BAPS player, isn't he, James? He's going to be the guy in BAPS.
3 ops.
But that's okay.
Why don't we pick one of our rifle?
That's okay, because this round we're going to see that quick apps push. So let's see how he holds this.
Yeah, so you can have a good timing on those mollies. Oh, he's come out flashed and trying to finish off the other player for his teammate.
Oh god.
Well, that hasn't really worked out. So I mean, if you like when there's a straight rush coming onto the site, obviously you can get that, you can get a Molotov on, and then follow it up with a flashbang. What are you doing?
I'm doing the
stop. I don't care what you're doing. Just stop. So when there's a rush coming in from BAPS, if they rush all the way rather than playing a contact play, then you can hear them. Like if you're playing short, you can hear them coming with lots of time on the clock to react to it. So you throw down a Molotov and then follow it up with a flashbang. Then there's a fair chance that they're going to block each other in the fire, and it will do a lot of damage. Then you've got a crossfire with your teammate as well. That's when you should put the nades away and just keep your gun out. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for them in that situation. But yeah, the alternative is to play contact, where you just walk through the apps until you're seen, which is the contact, and then you start rushing. So you're generally closer to the sites, and they have less time to respond.
I was doing the Jaws music, FYI. I think that's
what you were doing,
Jaws
Dan,
music.
was being annoying.
It's, Robin came from the back and killed all of them, James. Killed all 3 of them, I think. And that kind of sucks, but never mind. Never mind. So who do we follow, James? I feel like we still have
Twist is always a good one to follow when he's got an AWP.
Okay, so okay, we'll decide now. This round, we're gonna follow Twist next round.
Yes.
Okay, we'll follow Twist next round, and we'll look at what he's saying.
I'm a fan of Twist. I'm a Twist fan.
And we should turn the X-ray off for it as well.
I like the name Twist as well. It's a good name.
Okay, X-ray off and stay on Twist. Okay.
Alrighty, he has a spawn. He could. Yeah. I mean, he could have a better spawn actually for A. So it seems he's not going to go for it, because you can, with a good spawn to A, you can try and kill a CT if he's running through the site to make it to connector, as I think Tomáš is doing exactly that.
Looks like his team is just gonna go for a bit of a push here down on the pass with a few players. So Twist is doing the B pick, and I don't know that there is a CT there with an AWP. I think Tomáš is elsewhere. Tomáš is towards connector. So yeah, there's no AWPer, and actually the CT that is in apps, which is I think personally, he's actually pushing a little bit. So Twist is going to be able to he's going to be able to trade or get a quick kill. I think if that smoke goes away ever.
Yeah, the smokes can be weird. You can see for a second there. You could see the door frame through the smoke, and sometimes things are really weird, and you can see people as well. Yeah, the T's have lost the bomb, but it's still got 4 people, and they're just waiting for this entry, maybe trying to force a rotation, but the CT, who was deep into the apps, has since moved away, so there will be no engagement for Twist. And when you have a good spawn towards the B site as well, where Twist is aiming now is basically where the CTs jump up onto the barrel to look into the app. So if you just hold that angle, then you can get very fast frags, which is something to be aware of on the CT side as well. Just be aware, like when you're jumping up and looking, just think about how that looks on the other end.
And one thing as well, especially with AWPers, when you see them making these really fast shots, with like where it looks like their reactions are really fast, it's very rare that it's pure reactions when they're doing entrying or a lot of the defensive plays. Depends on the situation, but it's usually more about anticipation and kind of the visualization that comes from that, because you're basically running a scenario in your head and saying, I'm going to move to this position, and you're almost firing. You're not necessarily firing, but you kind of your brain is already doing it, because you're kind of like expecting the guy to be there as you snap.
Yeah, Karrigan's like that.
Exactly. Yeah, that's that type of warping as well. That's something that's always at least the way that I've played, and I'm pretty sure that's just a common mechanics thing.
With the before they nerfed the AWP with the crouch peeking, I suppose you could relate to that a lot, because it was so OP looking at it. It was just so advantageous to peek like that. Like if I'm wrecking people with the crouch peeking with the AWP, then there's definitely something wrong. Ooh, bit of a team headshot there. Friendly fire is off in the FPL. Worth mentioning. It is on for general pug games, but when you get to FPL, off come the tricycle supports.
I'm trying to think what those
stabilizers.
Yeah, I was just trying to think what those are actually called.
Tricycle supports makes no sense because it's a tricycle.
Yeah. I didn't even clock that.
Stabilizers.
Training wheels.
Get out of the paddling pool.
Training wheels.
Into the deep end.
Yeah, so this is not looking really good for Team Pits at the moment. They're having a bit of a hard time, I would say. Would you not say? So, looks like 16k. He's going to be the man to try to clutch this with the AWP. And in this kind of position, I would be thinking just about damage and saving the weapon. And this really sucks because to try to get into a spot to do damage, unlike a map like Dust 2 where you can get picks, you got to go through these like angles where it's like I will see lots of players. What? Oh no! Oh, that sucks.
Not a good day for 16k.
No, it's not.
Well, I think I was going to say maybe next round we can pay attention to what the Ts are trying to do, because often if you play a puggy style on Mirage during a pug, it's just going to make life harder for you. But if you try and achieve common goals like you know, mid control, get a smoke onto connector and so on, then it can make your life a hell of a lot easier.
So we've got a bit of a push here. I'm looking. Oh, I was just going to say I'm looking at Pleasant for an awesome defense.
Pleasant, please.
But no. Oh, this is a nice smoke here for Robin. You can actually just see the legs. That's actually perfect.
It's another thing to be aware of, something that a lot of people do on Mirage as well, especially in pugs. Since I think that relates a lot to the people watching, is that when the Ts are on an eco, you have to be careful about playing deep on the A-bomb site because you're just playing into the range of their Tech 9s basically. If they try to force their way in, then you know you're going to get wrecked a lot of the time. In fairness, in that situation, they had a smoke down on slope, and he's probably thinks the smoke is in brick wall mode, but they're just going to gently walk through it, thinking he's not going to look there because there's a smoke, and indeed they did catch him sleeping. So it's going to be the just a pistol buy for the T side, coming out in mid with numbers, which is always good versus the CTs. So far, so good. 2 CTs have been taken down. The rest are spread across the map, and the Ts have the numbers to trade. Apart from that kind of situation, that's a bit of a meaty name. Not everyone has armor either, so they've got to be careful here.
They do have an opportunity, and Tomáš is looking to get the spot on beat apps at the moment. So maybe a team Pits can actually make their way back into this a little bit. It's getting a little bit out of control at 8-2 already, and it's always fun to play rounds like this. Again, more so in pugs than against teams, because it's more often you're going to find an opening.
This is an example of the contact play. I think they saw Tomáš at the back of the site, so they started running immediately. He hasn't got time to get the AWP out though. But Robin is close enough to the site to stop a plant from going down. Now 16k has to just try and stall for his teammate, but half his body's showing. So he's moving back towards, just trying to hide now. Oh, he's got a headshot as well. And there we go, they've managed to steal the rounds. And an AWP. Good teamwork there.
Yeah, one thing you're talking about when with how I run around on Mirage up T slope, I only really do that if I have the spawn for it. Otherwise, I don't really bother to do it because you can get, like, the CTs want to play close. You can catch them whilst they're running, so you can just stop and then shoot them in the face. And well, anyway,
there's actually I was watching Steel's stream the other day, and he found a smoke from top mid to the left side of it. If you're a T facing CPL, which lands on the outside of connector in the A-bomb site, which is really, really nice. I had to make my own variation of it to make it work. I think I made a crappy video of it just so I could reference it later. But yeah, I have to look at that and see if I'm going to check actually. You can talk. I'm going to look at my YouTube.
well, this is going pretty badly because Team Pit are about to be reset here, and everyone's going to survive on Team Maxaki, it looks like. But Twist is like such a cool player because he's a guy that a lot of people are thinking, okay, this guy's for sure going to be joining NIP back when they were searching for someone after Michael left, or in that period where Michael was on the team but they were going to replace him, or he was actually speculated to be joining potentially before that, before Michael was picked up as well, when Fiflaren left. So Twist was one of those candidates, and back then as well, NIP was still they were slumping, but they weren't. It wasn't quite as it is now. They still had a very, very high reputation. They're still very deadly, as they are now. But Twist was one of those prime candidates. I'm not sure actually. I guess they wanted Alu because he was a dedicated AWPer, and they were really looking for a really, really strong dedicated AWPer. But Twist is really good with the AWP as well, which is why a lot of people are thinking he may be the pickup, especially as he's Swedish too. And he's just amazing with every gun. The guy can be superstar material.
So one of the important things for the T side here is to make sure they get out of the choke point, which they have finally done before the CTs have come in. There's many CTs towards jungle, but again, in pug situations, when people are pushing the site, a lot of them get just stuck around Tetris. which is terrible if you are on the T side, like where Twist is now. When you are first moving into the site, you cannot all bundle up there, because firstly, you need to make it across the site to allow for a safe bomb plant. And so yeah, various crossfires against the CTs, but also because it's, again, it's a fish in a barrel situation. Unable to get the no-scope there. Pit should survive before the bomb goes off. He will. So they'll take that. They can get a respectable score here, the T side. The money for Max Akin Co has gone down a lot. 9-6 maybe on the cards.
Yeah, indeed. Indeed. Unless we see something awesome here. This is something that I do a lot. I just love on this map, when I'm playing pugs or anything, just using the spawns always, because there's so many spawns on this map that are just like can give you sick timings, and Lessons are even gonna just tap Questone with the grenade before killing him, and that fast timing from Dumas into the palace actually got him the kill too. So now already it's 5 vs 3, and Twist can get dinked there, so things not looking too good here for the CTs. This is kind of one of those annoying spots. Because even if things look good like this for the CTs, again, the lack of coordination can mean that people will be undisciplined in how they take risks, or the fact that they are taking risks at all with this kind of an advantage. Because normally with teams, they will actually play quite far back actually and force you to move through choke points. What we're seeing right now from Team Misaki is they're moving into all these angles and just getting picked off. That should never happen. That would never happen in a pro level match, I would say, like for the teams. Oh my god, Twist is just killing everyone, James.
Oh, he's not going to expect the second play there. That's why sometimes it's good to have two people in the same place, like when you're like post plants and so on, because once one of you gets taken down, that's why you sometimes see double shadow play on Inferno B post plant from T's. Is that when the first person goes down, the last place you're going to look for the second person is in the same spot.
That means Twist. Why are you peeking there?
Why you do this?
Yeah, I can read Swedish sometimes, but the words are simple, James. Because I have a Swedish identity card.
Still have it?
No, I don't. I don't know. I don't even know how that worked.
I have someone else's birth certificate.
Really?
I mean, I have my own, but I also have someone else's.
Why do you have someone else's?
I don't know, Dan.
What do you need another one, James? Are you a spy?
You never know, man. You never know when you have to claim to be someone else.
Do you ever like one of those go bags in case you have to like...
Go bags?
Yeah, like unless you have to like leave the... Well, just
a bag full of 5 foreign currencies.
Yeah, exactly.
Some
foreign passports,
some fresh underwear.
Some birth certificates.
Might be a good idea. Maybe I should make a go bag. But where would I go?
Yeah. I don't know. Where would you like to go?
I'd like to go and play some Counter-Strike, Dan.
If you go to Malta, I think is it Malta? I think a lot of poker professionals go there because of the way that the gambling laws work. So you go to Malta and you can play poker.
I'd rather play Counter-Strike. A little bit more. Can I play Counter-Strike in Malta?
No.
Oh. Maybe I won't go to Malta. Actually, I might do a stream after this. After our show today, I might turn the stream on. But I can't. I have a problem with my mouse stand. For some reason, I've brought my home PC in, and for some reason, I cannot change the settings of my mouse properly. It's a bit of a mess. So I'll do my best. Maybe try and reinstall some bits and bobs. See what we can do.
Even though I'm not used to the shape, because I use the same shape, and mouse essentially like last 10 years, I really like the new stuff. The new stuff I'm using. Change is good.
It's nice. It's nice to experiment with change with mice, mouse pads, and so on, and just learn about things. You know.
Yeah.
The more you know.
For me, it was a situation where I always wanted to make sure I would never think about my setup. I would like spend a lot of time on my setup, on how, like from configuring my game and the sensitivity to how I'm sitting, and how my arm is on the table, and my posture and stuff. Like every single thing, I would like experiment. Experiment for like a good 2 to 6 weeks, and I would just take as long as I needed to be okay. I like this. And I would stay with that for like at least 2 years or something.
Yeah.
Because I never liked to have that. Because when I was a younger player, I remember some games I'd be like, I had a bad game. I'm going to change my crosshair. Or I'm going to change my sensitivity. And it's like having that thought in your brain is just like so annoying. It's just like, I just like this like finality. It's like, well, I spent like 2 months on this. I'm not going to waste 2 months of work and just try to change something now.
I think the thing that's most disruptive for me is when I get home and I just sit down to play, I always get an invite before I can warm up. And then something about the way like my arm is to the table or my chair or something is uncomfortable, and because I have a stupid setup at home, I play on a bureau, I can't play properly. So that was a good thing at LAN, is that I made sure every day when we went to I-Series I got there early enough so I could just deathmatch and get all the derp out, but I always start with derp at home there.
Yeah, I actually like doing all that training that I was talking about, like doing it in Quake actually, because Quake it feels easier to just like get the feel of the mouse and stuff, because there's just so much going on that it just feels a bit cleaner for me personally. But I come from Quake, so that makes sense to me too. So I'll probably end up doing that actually. But my internet sucks, James.
We need to play Tetranet one day.
Tetranet is godlike.
I think if you have played Tetranet, then tweet me and tell me about your Tetranet experiences back in the days on the IRCs. We used to play Tetranet. It was awesome.
It's really fun. Not many people know about it. Tetranet's like it's like multiplayer Tetris, but you can also play it in like teams. You can play like 3 versus 3 at once. I think 6 players was the most you could have. I think you go up to 4. I don't think you could do 4 versus 4. But basically, there'd be power-ups that would be either positive or negative power-ups that would spawn in your fields. And as you're creating Tetrises and eliminating rows, then depending on how big your Tetris was, it multiplies the power-ups. So if it's negative or positive, obviously you can use those on teammates or opponents or yourself. So yeah, it's actually like a super simple idea, but it's really fun.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
Really fun.
So this is the contact play we're talking about. 16K has the angle, at least on Maxaki, and now everyone's going to speed up afterwards. But you can see this is a power for the T's. Once the contacts come in, they're a lot closer to the site than they otherwise would be if they were just trying to rush all the way.
Yeah, this reminded me of something that should be a bit of a public service announcement for anyone who's playing any pickups of any kind in a moment, as we see what happens in this round. It's kind of cool actually. Mocha's going to pick up the AWP there and have the option to wrap around, but let's spot that. So yeah, one thing I just got reminded of is if you're in a pug, and let's use Dust 2 as an example, and you're on the T side, someone gets a good spawn for long, and they've got an AK, whatever, a deagle, it doesn't matter. If they're running towards long, do not just flash it, ask them if they want to be flashed. Because what James said about the contact play is there are some spots where you want there to be an engagement, and there's some spots where when you throw the flash, you got to think, what is the purpose of throwing this flash? The purpose is usually to get a guy out of that position so you can take a position. But when someone has a timing, they want to use the element of surprise to get a better engagement and get the frag and take position by getting the frag because they have a good timing. So there's like two conflicting things here where you're like, oh, I have the timing, I'm running down to long to get the pick, and then someone throws a flash, then the guy will be blind and fall back, and maybe I get in long, but the guy's still there, which is like a waste of my timing. Yeah.
So like if you have a good spawn of an AWP, then you probably want an engagement there on long. You want to get the kill, whereas if you throw the flash in, you're not going to push through the doors with the AWP, so it kind of escapes the object a lot of the time.
Yeah, it's one of those things like just generate some awareness. Ask yourself a question whenever you're playing. What is the purpose of this? Don't just throw stuff because of throwing it. You need to know why you're doing it. Because also every single resource in this game, a good concept to apply is everything should have a cost. So the grenade costs some amount of dollars. And when you throw that grenade, how much is it actually worth? Like what is the flash worth? Is it worth? Can one flash get you into a position? Then it's worth quite a lot if it can do that. Or likewise, if you throw a smoke, what is the smoke supposed to do? Well, you're investing in it so it can gain you positioning, and like that's like positioning is a resource, a commodity, as much as having players alive. So that means you can trade players' lives for positioning, because sometimes it actually, for the T's, for example, can allow you to win a round. So
I think on the subject of nades as well, in the more clutch parts of a round, where you're just trying to win the round for your team, especially post plant on the T side. You have to, I think people should have like a bar of risk, say from 1 to 10. And because a lot of people will get at nades and die with a nade in their hand a lot of the time in this situation. So I think for those people who do that, they need to catch themselves, and even afterwards, after it happened, just think about what was my risk in getting this nade out and being unable to defend myself should the player be close? Where do I think the player could be? You know, what is, if I'm holding an angle here with the gun, I know the CT's coming to try and kill me and defuse a bomb. What is my risk here if I try and throw a flashbang? Because oftentimes it's not considered by the average pug player. and they will simply get shot just spazzing. Like if people have an inventory, they'll throw it because it's there without considering the risk of it, basically. So something to consider is the risk.
Yeah, it's always like, I think, a lot of questions you can ask yourself about various things. Like another one is when it comes to initiative, like who should take initiative and when, because a lot of people have problems understanding like who on the team, especially on the T side, should take initiative. Because if you look at the dynamics of the way CS works, and you look at any pro teams, for example, let's imagine you've got like, let's say you're watching Flipside. Flipside are really, really good to watch for this. What they understand is that, let's say you're on Mirage, because it does take some map understanding too, and you're thinking about how can we take initiative in a way that, in a way that actually creates a distraction for another player to use his position. If you're attacking middle, then you're going to start necessarily, if you're challenging it heavily, you're going to create distraction, maybe get killed, and then maybe that guy who's on Palace can then peek out, because maybe then, you know, the CTs have to play a little bit of rotation and so on and so forth. So, you know, that guy is not, you don't want that guy to create the initiative who's in Palace. You want the guy in the middle to do it. So these are like natural things you got to think about, and because sometimes like when you're in a pug, James, the guys in the middle stand there like lemons and don't do anything, and so then you can't do anything.
Yeah. But also another thing about pugs is like someone will say on the T side will kill 3 people, and then they will die, and then they'll complain because you didn't help them or whatever. But the focus can't be on whether you live or die. It's the team objective. If you kill 3 people and die, and you're moaning that your players didn't come and save you, and then their resources could be better used abusing what you've done and taking map control elsewhere and so on. You know, that's the focus. So don't get mad.
That sounds pretty good to me, James.
Yeah, I would agree, Dan. I would have to agree.
That's usually like my objective. If I kill 3 people, if I kill 2 or 3 people this round as a team, then I did my job in a pug. Usually, like that's what I'm practicing usually. Yeah. Because you don't need to. That's like another thing as well, like another topic as well entirely. It's like, what are you trying to practice? Because you should always be questioning yourself and be like, okay, what am I actually trying to achieve? Because there's no point. There's almost no use to just doing stuff.
Bomb. Thank you for the bomb. He can't really defend it for too long here.
He can be quiz though, and he can kill everyone though, James.
There's also that, yep.
Yeah, I think that's a very high chance of that happening in this round. But yeah, it's a really good thing to think about always. You should always ask yourself, what are you actually doing with your time? Like, are you just having, if you're just playing and just having fun, you're just having fun playing, that is completely fine. That's totally fine. But I know a lot of competitive people that say, I want to win, but then they like start raging at their teammates. These are 2 conflicting ideas, James. If you want a higher chance of winning, don't tilt your teammates by raging at them. Actually, you know, encourage them and try to find ways to communicate with them in a way that makes your team play better, for example. Or
I want to win, Dan.
Or if you're playing matchmaking, don't go in with expectations that your teammates are going to be there for you if you're playing with the randoms.
I want to win, but I also want to play. I want to play good Counter-Strike. I want to learn something from it. On Dust 2, on the T side, I will almost, like in matchmaking or pugs, whatever, I will almost never agree to rush B, especially on the pistol round, because to me, it's I'm not gaining anything from that. Even if you win the round, no, it's just running through a choke point with flashbangs and variants of both sides, and I'd rather go for a longer term achievement of a goal and outsmart my opponent as opposed to that kind of variant play.
I mean,
that's me.
Yeah, I mean, look, it depends what you want to practice, right? Because let's look at team play, right? It's a really, really big part of Counter-Strike. You are not going to practice team play effectively, or even things that are going to be good. You're not going to create good habits in matchmaking. Like, you just won't. That's just an impossibility because you're playing with random people, and that's not really what Counter-Strike is. But you can practice individual skill sets. So, like, let's say if you're not rushing B, for example, then you're in positions where, okay, I need to, like, understand some CT timings. I need to understand how to position one in some engagements and find picks. How to use, like, a flash to maybe, like, deposition a player that's, like, playing mid double doors on Dust 2, for example. And then that allows me to get into this position, and I get a more favorable engagement here. And I can try to hit this shot. And you practice all this stuff. And that's actually, that's valuable. That's valuable because that's some good Counter-Strike. But because, you know, all it takes is you. And that's what you just got to understand, I think. At least that's how I approach it. That's why I end up running around killing people, James. Because I'm practicing entrying.
But it's not enough for me. What I want to do is basically slowly find 4 other people that I can play intelligent Counter-Strike with. I have 2 other people so far. And I have 2 more to find. It takes a long time, Dan.
Yeah, it does. It
takes a very long time.
It does take a very long time. I actually made a video about this, actually, on my channel. The dirty plug there. I actually made a video about that because that's actually one of the hardest things in this game. Because this game is highly rewarding. it's highly rewarding game because you spend so much time practicing things that are very difficult, and you go through a lot of like trials and tribulations, and you find walls in your gameplay. You got to like find solutions to them. You get frustrated, then you get the elation of overcoming some of these problems, and you see the improvement. It's so rewarding. But finding those people to play with, that is usually the hardest and most random thing.
So those are 2 nice flashes from the shadow area, which slowed the T-push, only now emerging from the choke point, and there's already a flank in T-spawn, so I'm definitely going to be stealing those as well. Those flashbangs. Very, very nicely done indeed. And the T's, they've got a plant, but they got absolutely savage. And you have to give credit to Questone for those 2 flashes there. Did very, very nice work for his team.
It's cool because you see in these pugs, like, everyone's like, oh, we can just play 3 ops, that's fine. And it kind of is fine in these pugs, to be honest. It can be kind of annoying to play against that. Is there a 4th one there? Okay, no. Just 3 still. But yeah, I mean, generally, like, I think a good concept for live streams is also just, like, awareness, right? It's like, awareness. Like, that's more or less what we were just talking about for, like, last 20 minutes. So.
Getting a bit too deep for me, Dan.
Too deep.
Good concepts for life.
It's true.
We need, if we're going to start talking about that, we need a couch. We need Oprah. We need Oprah. I really want to get DMX for the stage 3 finals.
From Oprah to DMX.
I reckon it's possible. I wonder how much it would cost. Because it's relevancy for him, right? Would you like to come to Sweden and rap?
I don't know that
stage?
DMX really cares about anything. I think DMX is
he's
pretty.
up for it, man.
I think he's pretty famous already, James.
I want a photo of DMX.
Do you know that, like, I actually showed this to you. I don't know if you watched the videos, but there was this thing in like 2004 or something called the Hip Hop Gaming League. That
I've looked at those, but they just didn't interest me in the slightest.
No, but like it had like Snoop Dogg was like co-hosting it with DJ Wheat. Snoop Dogg, James.
Yeah, but DMX
is playing like, what is it, like the NBA computer games with his other rapper mates.
DMX is my boy. There's a video on YouTube actually where there was like a wedding party bus to like transport people from, I don't know, from reception to party or something. And they were playing DMX, and DMX was actually like driving past or something, and he got out and got into the van and then was rapping along to his own music in the middle of the bus while people were recording on their phone. And it's, like, just look it up, it's hilarious on YouTube. Just put DMX wedding, you'll see it.
And you also, if you have not seen it, you have to look at the, like, just type in DJ Wheat Hip Hop Gaming League Snoop Dogg or something. Like, you have to see that. When that got announced, James, in 2004, all of us Quakers are like, what the hell is this? Why can't we get a Quake tournament? Why is Snoop Dogg playing NBA with DJ Wheat? I don't know.
NBA Jam was awesome. I actually have the remake of NBA Jam on the Xbox, and they made a On Fire edition, which I don't think I've ever played. But it was cool. I actually have a video where I think I was playing George Bush and Bill Clinton was my team. I loved that game. It was so good. But I think this is Counter-Strike. So, Team Pits heading towards the W here. If I remember, they had a difficult T side. They did indeed. They did not have many rounds.
I like all the orbs. All of the orbs all the time.
I love orbs.
I like watching Twist Orb. We've got Benji in middays. Oh, he gets the. Oh my god! Everyone's dead, James. Just like that. That's not a good sign here for the T's. It's not a good sign. This is like the most horrible thing on Mirage, when like you'll like you lose quite a lot of players and you still don't have connector. You don't have ladder room or anything like that. You're just stuck here. You still watch like 3 angles at once. It is so annoying. Well. Looks like we would be smart to pick Pits, but 16k there. He almost 30 bombs, James.
Not bad. Good stuff.
What was he on? I think he was on the 8th position. Was that this month on the rankings?
Possibly.
Something around there. So because of course he was one of the players. He was, I think Random Rambo was a few places ahead of him. But maybe he would have been a guy. I wish we could have chosen our draft teams after watching these game shows. Yeah,
I suppose there are interesting dynamics because I think the qualifiers, a lot of those guys will maybe have a lot more free time, so they can just grind their way up the ladder.
Yeah.
And obviously then you've got the dynamic of the Winter Fox players who are in Europe who only play, official matches at 2 AM or something. And who knows if they're even practicing. Like, how do you practice? Is it even worth practicing, doing practice matches? with a 150 ping.
I guess, I mean, you can do drills and stuff, but I guess it comes down to the motivation. Do these players even want to do that? They may feel like, because if they have, let's say, the situation where they don't know when the problem's going to get fixed, and it could be like 2 or 3 months, then they might feel like, what's the point? Which sucks, but it's just a really horrible situation. I really do not envy their position. That's like the worst thing I can imagine.
Should we answer a few questions and pick a winner for this prize?
Yeah, let's do that.
Obviously, there will be a lead time on these questions to start. So there we go. Oh, okay. Who do you think the most versatile player is right now?
Most versatile player from any team. I
just want to show you my new shoes. Do you like my shoes? Look how big my shoe is.
It's a canoe.
That is a size 13 tan Chelsea boot. I'm just going to leave that there. It looks enormous.
It looks so huge.
It looks. Well, it is huge if you think about it. This is. We can thank Semler for these because he gave you a tip or a boot store, right?
Well, it's super like a very old school. Like the store is like 200-300 years old. It's like a chain of 2 of them in London. There's like super old school London-based shoemakers or whatever. Chinese.
They even polished the tip for me. See that they did all this. I'm not like a fashion person, so this is all new to me. Versatile player.
Yeah, that's a really hard question, isn't it? Versatile player.
For me, I would look at people who AWP, but mainly rifle. Like Simple, Forest.
But that's the problem, isn't it? Because
Kerrigan.
Because you can say versatile. Oh, Carrigan's a good one. Because you can say versatile, right? But then, like Shocks, maybe I would say maybe Shocks, because Shocks is done leading. He's Happy. I'm picking Happy. That done. It's done. Just realized. Happy, easy. That's
Why?
so easy because he's an in-game leader. He's a very good in-game leader. Because with Shocks, his in-game leading was okay, but it was never as good as Happy's, for example. Obviously, and despite Shocks being like one of the best lurkers in the game, one of the best riflers and AWPers in the game, and pistolers in the game, I feel like Happy, I feel like he's more rounded at the same time because he's so good as an in-game leader. So I don't know. I am a bit of a Happy fanboy, I guess. I said that previously. He can do everything.
Next question.
What is your one?
I don't have one. I don't have an answer.
That's no. You have to answer. You can't just see.
Why?
I don't
have to answer. I have my shoes on the table. I think that's enough.
That's not an answer though to the question.
Look at the size of this. Let's compare this to, for example, my phone. I don't know. I mean, I guess you're supposed to compare it to a banana, right? But I don't have any bananas here.
We have the nade.
You have the grenade, yeah.
With the nade.
Well, you can see the comparison there. What is the next question?
Like how you're getting away with this.
Who are you excited to see more of from the FPL?
Me, when I qualify next month, hopefully.
The stream did hear what he said, right?
What?
The stream did hear Producer East there, right?
I don't know. They did.
Okay, cool. Just had to check there. I'm interested to see more of Jacob actually, because we featured him today, and he's obviously very good. So I'm curious how well he's going to continue to do, because he's got more of a spotlight team now as well in G2. So I think he's definitely a player to look out for.
That's a good point actually. I
like Jacob.
I do think it's a good opportunity for him. Kind of the step up to the upper tier teams. And it's a good opportunity to see, for him to shine. Even
if it doesn't work out with G2, he's got a platform with G2 and with FPL.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, Jacob. What else we got?
If you ignore language barriers, who would be your all-star team?
Oh, this old question. This one pops up all the time, doesn't it? The all-star team without language barriers.
But it's not just about language barriers. It's about synergy. It's about how they play off each other. The things they do without language. The things this guy's going to do this. This guy's going to do that. I don't care much personally for all-star lineups and so on. I don't care much.
You're dodging another question, James. You're just doing this again and again. My name's James. I don't make predictions, and I dodge all questions. My name's James.
Like whenever I see all-star matches at LANs, I never watch them ever because it doesn't interest me because it's
hypothetical, James. Hypothetical.
All right, fine.
Just pick 5 players from let's say 5 roles that you think that they're really good on those roles. Because obviously this is not going to happen, James. We're not going to put these players together. It's not supposed to happen.
Fine. Ignoring language barriers, who would be my all-star team? Guardian.
That's good. I like it. I like it. Starting well.
Ignoring rage.
Ignoring
as well.
rage issues as well.
Then simple. Then simple because then you have the versatility of 2 AWPs or 1 AWP and an excellent rifler.
Yeah, I like it.
Who do you pick as an in-game leader? Kerrigan. Wait, but there's too much AWPing then.
But or is there? New style. Maybe it's the James style. James, you're the coach. You're the guy with the baseball cap on, standing behind the
Kerrigan.
players.
I'm gonna go Kerrigan. I can go Kerrigan
nice.
because then you have the option of a more stable secondary AWPer. It allows for broader styles. You can unleash simple from the cage when you need to just kill everyone, like, or some, you know, when you need to press a big red button.
He's a pretty. I mean, he's an amazing rifler too. So.
Yeah, I'd say so. Guardian, Kerrigan, simple, get right, and fifth. I don't know. I can't think of a fifth to slot into that device.
Well, device is another really powerful AWPer. Of course, he's great with rifles as well. But
and decision making and so
I'm
on.
not going to help you make this team because
I've just made my team.
Okay, who was the last one?
Device.
Oh, device. Okay.
Yeah, but I think there's a lot of people you can put in there. Like, I don't care really. So
yeah, I would like to. I'm actually I love both Happy and Kerrigan. And those would be my 2 in-game leader picks, but I'm not gonna. I can't put them on the same team because I don't like this situation where you've got two players that have very strong ideas about how to play the game.
Too many cooks in a broth, Dan.
Exactly, yeah. So I would actually say it's a pretty tough one, but I would actually.
Have you picked one player yet?
Well, the first one's the most important because it's the leader. And I'm trying to think. I'm going to go with Kerrigan actually, because although I'd like Happy as a player, I think I like TSM's style more and the kind of like how they are together more. So now I would put Shocks in there. So Kerrigan, Shocks. I want to put
Shocks,
Forrest.
what, the League of Legends commentator? Oh, you mean Shocks from? Okay, go on. Okay, continue. I was just checking. It
You're
sounds
not paying
the same.
attention, James.
Sounds the same.
This is Counter-Strike. This is a Counter-Strike stream. So we're talking about Counter-Strike. Okay. So Kerrigan, Shocks. I would also put in Skadoodle. Honestly, I want to get some NA in there. Let's get some NA in there. Get Skadoodle in there. And
how are you not getting Guardian though, ever?
I know, because I'm trying to be different.
How are you ever not getting Guardian?
I'm trying to be different, James.
Ever. Alright, fine, you can be different.
I want to get players from different nations as well. So, the next player I would probably choose is going to be...
The next player you would probably choose, Dan. Is that what
You're completely derailing me here. Okay, I'm done, James.
What?
I forfeit. I forfeit. I'm going to sell my 3 players and I forfeit. I abstain.
Next question.
What are your thoughts on Hellraiser since the recent lineup changes?
Okay, so Hellraisers, do you want to take it first or should I go?
I think it's too early to... I mean, we can talk about how they've performed in those matches, and they perform well and it looks good, but I mean, it's so early that really... I don't know if my opinion at this point is worth a damn, to be honest with you. I mean, it looks promising, but really...
You're doing it again, James.
No, but seriously, like, what can we say?
Let's extrapolate from what we've seen.
All right, since you seem to be...
I'll do it. Okay, I got this. So, new Hellraisers. It's completely different to the old Hellraisers. That's the first thing that we've seen. Right, we've got Stiko in there. He's obviously really good because from what we've seen clutch potential out of him. We've seen really good rifling. He seems quite versatile. Of course, he's not really got the AWP role, but they have Simple on their team to do that if required. And also, sometimes Angel picks up the AWP as well. So there is AWPing potential on this team. And I actually feel like what we're seeing at the moment is working out quite well. Because generally speaking, Simple seems to be molding into the pace of the team a bit better. Because this team has a bit of a faster pace, or the opportunity for that. It reminds me a little bit of just the skill rate. It feels like the skill level is just better. Would you agree? Do you think that's a fair statement?
Simple is technically speaking still a stand-in. Do you think that maybe they're just waiting for his contract to run out instead of paying for him or something like that? I don't know when it runs out.
I was about to, yeah.
I have no idea. But you mentioned AWPing, but Oscar's been AWPing, and I think, do you think he's a better AWPer than Kucha? Or yeah, I would agree with that. Or he's been more effective so far for Hellraisers. But again, it's an early sample size, and we're in a period of time where all the teams are not going to be used to this Hellraisers, and it's going to be difficult to prepare for in that sense, because they might not necessarily know what to expect from this Hellraisers side until they have like another, I don't know, 30 plus maps under their belt.
But that's the cool thing too, because Oscar's kind of new into this team and into this environment in CS:GO, because we haven't seen him on a really big team before, and the way that he's working is just, as you're saying, as a dedicated AWPer, allows Simple to rifle a bit more, but also it means when Oscar's not on the AWP, he's actually a really capable rifler as well. And I think he's just generally more skilled than Kucha. So this team, it feels like they synergize much better, and on the Simple team plays that they go with, the simple rounds that they play, that Angel leads them with, it's working right now. It just looks cleaner than the old Hellraisers. The old Hellraisers looked like they were trying to do too many complicated things that the team wasn't capable of, whereas now it looks like they're gelling quite well. So I think I would like to see Simple stay on this roster. I don't know who I would replace him with.
Yeah, I like the idea of Simple being on a roster with a good AWPer where he's not the main AWPer, because I think it's more stable for the team. Because again, it's very volatile, can explode or implode.
Yeah. Basically,
we always mention that on Cobblestone, the way he used to play there for Flipside.
And I prefer it over World Edit as well, because again with Oscar, I feel like he's just got more skill. There's just more variety possible there, and we're seeing this general trend going in to the very top level teams. Everyone needs to be good at everything. You can't have that guy that just sacrifices himself for other people necessarily. You need to be dynamic. You need to know what is the most optimal situation with these 3 players we have in this position we're in right now with these grenades. And okay, both your star players are dead, or something like this, right? You need to be able to just play that optimally. And so that's what's happening on the top level. These are the teams that are doing the best with this style. So yeah, I think this Hellraiser team can go pretty far actually. It has more potential, I think, than the other ones. But it's early days, like you said.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I would only say maybe it does, and it's early days. We will have to see how they play out over time. Too smaller sample size, in my opinion. I think we were about to get into a game, but VAC Authentication said no. I'm not sure if there are any more good questions to read out. Producer Reese says there isn't. Maybe Producer Reese can make up a question, Dan. Put him on the spot. We haven't put Producer Reese on the spot for a while, actually.
Yeah.
We made him cast an entire pistol round once, which was annoying. It was amusing, but I felt bad afterwards. I felt like a bit of a bully.
Were we in this studio when we did that?
Yeah, it was here. Yeah.
It was a long time ago.
Yeah.
One thing that's coming up later, by the way, that we're closing the show with is something that we're going to feature each week, because if you've been paying attention to the YouTube channel, we've been putting like POV videos there, because it's very different to watch the POV of a player than to watch, like, when you cast a game, you see everything going on all the time. There's so many things happening at once. It's kind of chaotic. But when you watch a player, you're kind of dialed into what that guy's doing, and so you get to see a more clean picture of just a few decisions. But then you can look at them with more attention, and you can see, why is he doing this? How, what is it, what is the reaction here, and so on. You can actually analyze it a little bit, break it down, and it's more applicable to people when you're actually playing a lot of the time, because you're seeing the micro instead of the macro sense of the game. And so what we have is like a little bit of narrated a narration, just explaining a few things. It's basically my take on it, because I used to do videos like that. And so just narrate, like, I think we've got Device coming up as the first one, and he's on a cash against Virtus.pro. So you can see how Device plays some rounds on CT side, on T side. It's about 10 minutes or so, and it's you just get to see some decision making, and that's quite cool.
I actually wonder if Producer Reese could bring up the platform stats for us, because we don't normally use it in this situation, but since we have some time before the next match starts, I think it would be quite curious to have a look at. So we have this overlay which shows you what's gone on the platform in the last 24 hours. So here we go. You can see almost 200,000 rounds have been played on FACEIT.com. That's almost 1.5 million kills in 24 hours, Dan. That's absolutely insane. So pretty much as many kills as many deaths, and you can see 300,000 assists, 532,000 headshots. I think Scream might be responsible for 200k of those. Almost 2,000 1v5 clutches. It's just cool to see these kind of stats. 77,000 1v3 clutches, 16k 1v4 clutches. It's just cool when you look at that and you see like almost 1.5 million kills in 24 hours. You see how big the FACEIT world really is. So I think that's really cool.
So across all the regions.
That's the global platform stats here at FACEIT. So I believe Producer Reese has picked a winner for this StatTrack M4A4 Asimov.
The winner of the giveaway is Devil Walk.
Really? Devil Walk?
What?
That's hilarious.
That is amazing.
Well, congratulations, sir. Should be playing the bloody matches, not stealing our weapon skins. But congratulations to Devil Walk. I think, is that the first time that one of the pros has won a giveaway?
No.
Because I think Pitt used to enter them.
Peter, I think, must have won something.
He's
like
has Peter won?
permanently. He's permanently in our chat. He must have.
He's just spamming his own emotions
Yeah.
in there and not picking a name for his
With
actual team.
With the jewelies, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Busy
nice.
spamming our chat and not picking a name for his actual team. He's in the next game as well, so he's on that grind. He's playing the FPL and winning the prize at the same time. That's pretty cool. All right. So I don't know how much time there is left to the next game. We're just connecting now. Producer Reese says. In terms of giveaways, we are also going to be giving away 2 falchion knives at 675k followers. One of which is a case hardened one, which looks awful, and the other one is, I think, a slaughter, which will be given away to one of the subs. Maybe Devilwalk will win that as well. Maybe he'll win both. Subs can enter the open raffles as well, and they are 10 times more likely to win, but they often don't.
Like how you added that in there.
Yeah, I mean, just the numbers game.
I never win anything either.
What are you trying to win?
Right, I forgot that part.
So yeah, you must enter to win.
Well, I knew I was doing something wrong.
Yeah.
Okay,
Indeed.
well.
So I think this is the last game we're casting today. How do you think it's gone, this pilot show, so far?
Okay.
It's nice because basically we can watch a game and just nerd out. Because when we're not on camera, Dan and I just nerd out. Like if we're talking, most of the time we're nerding out almost the whole time. There's the occasional, talk about.
And we're planning to add people as well.
Yeah.
To these shows as well, so we get more different opinions and insights and so on.
Yeah, so it should be quite fun. But I really like that we have, because obviously when we're casting a match, there's so much that Dan and I want to say, especially Dan, which there just is not the time to get all the information out. So we're just always kind of holding back loads of information which you may or may not find interesting. But now we can just basically know what's going on and just geek out about Counter-Strike because we love the game.
I think as well, like this kind of format feels to me like it's going to be more interesting to people that care more about being in the position that they're playing in the FPL, or like they care more about actually like being players themselves and like learning stuff. So we want to try to facilitate those people as well, so we can like help you learn about the game as we learn about the game, and so on and so forth. Which is like some of the video content is there to do. So that's like what we have going on here, and I look forward to seeing all the stuff that we come up with, because we're adding all these little these new videos and stuff. I especially like the little interviews.
Yeah, that was quite nice actually. I hadn't seen that before it went live, so it was cool. Thumbs up, I approve. Although you can see that producer Reese's questions are far too long for people to read and listen to the answer at the same time. So producer Reese's like, so what do you think about the circumference of the moon as it's rotating around the Earth, and its place in the solar systems and other things, and where the sun comes into this? And you have to kind of read while the answer comes in.
That's the only way you're going to take that. Exactly.
I can't say anything else, Dan, because I know who you are. We'll leave that off stream. Off stream, Dan.
I don't know what that means.
Off stream. Even though this is a fun, there's still.
It's not that fun. It's not. That's too fun. Too much fun.
Okay, so I think I'm going to try and play some games after this stream. I might try and stream.
What games are you going to play?
Called Counter-Strike.
But what games are Counter-Strike?
FACEIT games in the Gold League.
In the Gold League.
In the Gold League. So I think I'm. This chat is spamming shoe on head. There's no way this shoe is going anywhere near my head. Ever. There are some things I will do for you guys, but shoe on head is not one of them. I'll do banana with shoe, maybe, but shoe on head. No chance. I mean, look at the side. Can you imagine this on my head? Look how big it is. It's a big shoe.
That's not happening. Not even for me.
Wow, look at that. Stico and Oscar on the same team here.
Oh dear. That means bad times for Team Devil.
Nice. And their ex-teammate Questone is on there as well as
I think it was Olafmeister that was joking around the stream. It's like, Oscar's in the other team. Rip. He's gonna lose this game.
So, 3 old teammates all together. Working out so far. Just Devilwalk remaining now. Must be happy he's not playing with 140 ping.
It's beginning.
Yeah, so it's like what I was like, okay, am I I feel like I should be casting now, but I'm not supposed to cast, so what am I supposed to do? I don't know.
There's no rules. You can cast if you want to cast.
I don't want to cast. I'm casting later.
Are you?
We got North American
Oh
Counter-Strike.
yeah. Oh, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
Oh.
So there we go, Cash. This is a map I'm enjoying at the moment. I have spent some time learning all the residual nades I hadn't bothered to learn before. So there are some recent videos on Cash to be found on FACEIT.com YouTube. You can learn how to consistently smoke off all the choke points, the varying choke points from the CT side. Devilhawk looking for the 1-digs. Running out of bullets though.
Well, it's funny because anti-ecos in pugs are like the scariest things to do ever because everyone's got like a different idea of what to do, and then this happens, everyone dies, then Quet Zone has to get a 1 or 2, you will get it actually, 4k. It's pretty good. It's pretty good. So he had to get a 4k with that 1 or 2 at the end when his team's doing an anti-eco round or anti-force buy. That is scary, but they still win. And it's cool actually as well because we get to see where Oscar kind of came from in a sense, because he got picked up from the pug environment. So obviously like players who play, like James mentioned before, players who play a lot of pugs aren't necessarily playing the best Counter-Strike. And
sorry to interrupt you, I was just I was wondering, like Zico just threw the Molotov there. I was thinking, why is he throwing a Molotov from A? And then it bounced off the top wall, and I was yet more confused, like why is he doing that? But he's trying to stop the CT rush because they're on anti-eco. These are things that I haven't seen players do before, so I'm marveling at all we're witnessing. That's quite an interesting one. Just to control the choke point, make sure he cannot be overwhelmed by any CTs choosing to rush through mid. That's nice. I like the idea. I like it.
And just like finishing off my point there, just briefly, it's like with Oscar, there is a certain style that's going to be making you more successful in pugs. Like you can't necessarily say, I play a lurker when I'm playing with a team, so I have to go and lurk in a pug. It's not necessarily the style that's going to work. So I'm looking to Oscar to show us like what are the best ways to play pugs individually to get the big wins, because he topped the scoreboard last month, and that is not for no reason.
Yeah, and it actually, just the small nuances like that Molotov are talking about, we can expect to see lots of interesting things. So we're learning as we're going along here, seeing these there's a good decision making from these players essentially.
Yeah, it's pretty cool to see that. Of course, Oscar and Stico, as mentioned, they play together on Harry's now. We were talking about Harry's as someone asked us previously, so I want to see more Stico actually, because we've seen quite a lot of Oscar, but Stico tends to fly a little bit under the radar because Oscar's had all the spotlight recently. Stico deserves a bit of limelight as well.
And what then?
I was trying to see if I can understand that. I understand what the words mean, but the grammar, I don't understand how the grammar works, James.
Oh, you're reading the
Swedish, yeah.
The Swedish.
I understand every word, but not how the grammar makes the words fit together.
Okay.
So it can mean different things. So I didn't want to. I was like, should I try it or should I not?
I recently learned that Fifth Laren means the hustler. Because I was wondering, there's a lot of players, like when I play with Swedish players, a lot of them have ARN on the end of their name, and I was wondering, what does that mean? Where's all this ARN? What does it mean? And I somehow learned that Fifth Laren means the hustler. But I forgot what the ARN actually means.
Like saying the Swedish names, like no one ever did that right. Like none of us, all of our casters like butchered most of them. Like Fifth Laren, I don't even know how to properly say his name.
I think when we teased you for saying it incorrectly, you were actually saying it more correctly than anybody else when you used to say Fifth Laren.
No, not really. I don't think so. But Freiberg is the one that's like Friberg.
Yeah, but Freiberg just sounds like so awesome. Friberg.
Something like that. But I probably said. I'm saying it wrong, and it probably sounds horrendous still. So.
Well, I believe it is Friberg, not Freiberg.
But yeah,
but Freiberg sounds awesome.
Yeah, Freiberg sounds pretty good.
Freiberg sounds like the guy at the docks who's gonna do you in if you try and hit on his sister. Well, you don't want to do that, because Freiberg.
Yeah, it's I can't remember how Fifth Laren's one works exactly.
So you see that sign at T-spawn? Can we go to the sign in T-spawn, Mr. Producer Reese? Just look to the right a little bit. So that sign there, if you jump on it from the front, you can actually, with a sniper rifle, a scout or something on an anti-eco, you can jump all the way to the top of that and just hold B from T-spawn.
What does it say, the sign?
It says, don't be noob.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, so basically from that angle, you can just hold that with a sniper rifle. You have to jump from the front. If you try and jump from the back, it's not going to work. You can tell I play this game.
Okay, so Robin's up on the bomb sites, and he has he's cleared it for his team. If only they had the bomb in anywhere near that position, that would be great. It's kind of funny now because there's so much delay. You should just go to the other site because the CTs know that he's in the bomb site, so the fear that the bomb should be rotating there is really, really high. That said, it's funny because Team Devilwalker, they actually didn't react, which is actually the right way to play that round. So pretty smart. That's kind of unexpected in the puck. But they got 2 ups. I don't think they're going to try to bother retaking this. Oh, wow. Juicy.
All the no scopes.
Sit down.
Well, this is a good start for Team Stico.
Yeah, I mean, it's funny as well because we're seeing many more teams picking the T side. We saw fnatic, I think, yesterday picking T side on this map, and it was against Hellraisers that they picked T side after winning the knife round. And we're seeing more behavior like this just because I guess teams feel more confident starting on the T side because it's starting to yield a lot more rounds with the current meta game, the way that things are with the new update and so on and so forth. And well, it's looking pretty good here for Team Stico again. I think it's the Oskar factor, man. It must be the Oskar factor.
Well, the fact that 3 of them are basically, essentially a team to a degree, you know. They have that level of familiarity, then you can expect it to be good. Pit's going to run and get that bit of bonus money. You see some people have named the bomb, and I think you have to alter a text file. But I'm literally too scared of VAC to even do that, Dan. I'm too scared to even modify a text file just in case it leads to a VAC ban or something. I don't know what I would call the bomb, though.
What would you do if you got VAC bans?
I would never get VAC bans. I would never, ever get VAC banned unless somebody hijacks my account, and then I would have faith that the right thing would be done.
Let's say if you like sleepwalk James, you sleepwalk and you download some cheats, James, you get VAC.
Impossible.
What would you do with your life?
Impossible.
If you were VAC banned?
Impossible.
What would James be doing?
Counter-Strike is everything to me, then.
So there's no fallback for you.
There's nothing left.
There's nothing left. Okay, well, this could happen. Oh no, Max McKee's gonna miss that shot, and he's gonna go down. This is a very fast half, actually. 8 rounds already. Look at the T's have so much money. I feel sorry for Team Devilwalk, but I don't feel sorry for Devilwalk because he just wanted some skins. So
yeah, he did. Yeah.
So he can shut up and take the beating, James.
Indeed he can. They've got nothing, man. They've got no nades. This is horrible. Like they're up against 3 AKs and 2 orbs, and they've got no nades and 4 rifles. Like they're bound to lose here. I would have considered double eco just to get some nades and better weapons. That said, Dan, they clearly don't need them because they have a plan, and I would not have had a plan.
Yeah,
I would have been planless.
It's kind of rough when you're playing against a team and they are winning. Like it's already that you're playing a pug, so with a pug, individual skill can have more impacts because the team play naturally is going to be a little bit less, as we mentioned. Like of course, you know, because they're on teams, they're not playing together all the time, so team play is going to be a little bit less impactful. So shots like that, Oscar's going. Oh wow. So individual skills, you can see, is pretty important in pugs. So what happens then if you get like this situation on cash? It's one of the maps that it feels really bad on because let's say you know the T's in this case, they always just win. If you try to challenge them on middle, you always die because they just out aim you. But then do you give up middle and then just let them have middle? I don't know, James, because then you let them have middle and then your life sucks as well. So it's really, really rough if you're getting really heavily out individually skilled.
Oh, they still have a buy actually at the CT, so I'm clearly not paying attention to the money. Just don't listen to anything I'm saying. Let's see. Again, things are difficult. Is that a bit of team damage? I think it might have been. Again, if you are just joining us, team damage is on when you are playing in the FPL. No stabilizers on those little bicycles. Little bells and the pink toy bits, another whatever is on bicycles with stabilizers. Anyway, What's the score going to be, Dan, on the first half? 9-0 so far.
16-0.
I think it's 16-0. Who got 16-0? Oh, Winterfox. I'm not even trolling, I just couldn't remember, and then I instantly remembered as soon as I asked the question.
Please, you are a massive troll.
So they joined the Virtus.pro club. In the 16-0 hype. We should have like a 16-0 Hall of Fame.
What is he doing? That is, I mean, obviously, who cares? Like, they have all the money in the world. That, I mean, I guess if he has 16k, then...
Then buy an auto sniper. Yeah. On the T side.
Where's the negatives at? I want to see some negatives. Oh god. Oh my god.
Nice.
That's really dangerous. I've seen some teams actually go to sandbags and then they boost from sandbags to avoid getting wallbanged as they run to the vent position.
I think Luminosity do that. Ooh, Blessing's trying to close the distance, but he's going to close the distance and die.
Oh, after all that work from Pitts, the rest of his teammates just go and die, James. And the reason is because we were talking, what we were talking about before about individual skill. They're just all walking out trying to get the kills, and it doesn't always work. Doesn't always work. And there will be a round for Team Devilwalk, but it's 10-1 already, so my hopes are not high in them making this comeback.
Well, an auto sniper on the CT side is never what you want. Like, often when you're playing pugs and so on and you see an auto sniper and you're on a T side, you shouldn't pick it up, because if you drop it back into the hands of the CTs, it can be pretty devastating. We'll see if 16k can get anything done with it on this occasion.
I'd like to see the real sniper in middle, because there's been always so much pressure there consistently. I think he's playing quad with it though, 16k, and there are still a bunch of T's here, so he might be able to actually win this round for his team.
Stika got the spray down through the smoke as one of the CTs was trying to get to the under the drop. That's what I'm trying to say. Just Devilwalk and Hooch remaining.
It's time to get reset though.
Yeah, that's bad.
It's time to get broke. Tap? Oh, I wanted to see the one bullet there. I was waiting for it.
Then there is the reset. So we're probably looking at a 15-1 now, because 14-1, excuse me, because their money loss bonus has been reset, which is horrible, especially when you are down this much.
Well, I look forward to these situations, James, when I have no money. Then I can be a hero and save the day.
I can be your hero, baby. Let's see if they can take away the pain, Dan.
It also means I get to use the deagle, and I love deagles.
I'm a big fan of the deagle. Oh wow, the CT's just not waiting at all. Ooh. So maybe they're going to allow the T to take this round.
I'm really glad they fixed that forklift though.
It took so long to do it, right? That was insanely frustrating.
It's so random. It was just really random.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so cool. Devilwalk,
Devilwalk, you nerd.
That was really cool.
Can't get around the corner though.
Yeah, so for those of you that don't realize, he used the HE to just basically send all the dust in the air to actually get out of a very tight angle. Although, of course, you can just spray anyway, I guess, but whatever.
What is Oskar doing with this? Where is he? He is in... Okay. Okay. Oh wait, is he gonna... What is this? What is he doing? Well, that was fun.
Just like, so what is next? What's next?
What is the meaning of this?
I was expecting something to happen, but it's just, I don't know, man. We just got to peek into Oscar's mind, James. There.
Yeah, scary, Dan.
I don't want to go back. I don't want to go there again. Yeah.
I don't want to go back.
Not like this. All right, 12-1, and we got the deeks, double D.
Oh no!
No, got wrecked on the timing, my friends. Oh god, that's some pretty snappy shot there from Quetzstone. Be cool to see what happens, what becomes of Quetzstone. Of course, or Quetzstone. That's like the first time that I've seen this person, this player, this human being. 16K's been doing some good stuff with the AWP and some of the matches that we've seen previously. He's been in all of them so far today. And I don't think that anyone else has particularly stood out of the new players.
Yeah, I wouldn't say so. Not yet. But I'm sure it will take some adjusting. It's like going to the Japanese arcades. It's like you can make you have to make a lot less mistakes and adjust. Otherwise you get punished for them. Robin just got shot in the head by his teammate. Apparently he's done well on the statistics, but never tells the whole story, you know. There are always those heroes who will be left on their own and get 2 or 3 kills every round and have a good score. Not saying he's one of them, but you know, they do exist.
I believe he's got the AWP, he's got the bomb, he's got Kevlar, he's got the helmet, and he's got Seiko looking for the engagement. And Seiko will be able to get the bomb there. This is really hard for Devil to like figure out which way to look, but oh, what? It didn't even seem like he could be seen there. Devil's position. Seiko going for that clutch. Juicy D comes out. Oh no! Yeah, what do you do? This sucks for the CT. Like you're always in a spot where, like, do you like to gamble on the site or do you like to stay in the middle? Because those are the two things you can do: either gamble on the site or stay in the middle.
I think it depends on if I have a read on the player. If I don't, then I'll probably just stick on a site. But if I do,
I think it's.
Well, it depends. I guess
it depends on the map, but I feel like it's better on catch to go on the site.
Yeah, I just often prefer to just gamble.
Because if you think about the rotation times, if you're in the middle, like let's think about this. So if you're playing in the middle and waiting to see which side it's going to be, then you're going to run to the site, but you're in that position. Let's say you go to the wrong site, right? And the guy plants. You're only adding like 5 seconds max to the bomb time. But if you're on that site and he does go to that site that you're on instead of going to the other one, then you have a much higher chance of winning the round, I would say, right? So I actually like that better because I think the higher chance of winning a round if he goes to that site in that 50-50 is better than having the slightly more time, no matter what.
Yeah, that's what I like.
That'd be my logic.
Nice.
What? Drive by Julies. Drive by Julies. I need to use the Julies more. I don't use them. I used them in 1.6, and I would mouse wheel, and I would buy mouse wheel to fire. And it was like firing a negative for the Julies, James.
Yeah, it was amazing how fast you could fire those.
You could like empty the entire clip in like half a second. It was amazing, and the gun would just like get sent to the sky straight away. Good times. We appear to have a very fast game here.
Yeah, we do.
Team Steeko, it's too powerful. Steeko, Pit, and Oskar. We've got the Pub Masters here. Pub Masters.
Oh well. There goes Pit. Well, looks like they've walked on it, and Co not out of this yet. Oskar, they might have other ideas. Ooh, can't make that connection. P90 could actually just take this round.
I've really been liking the P90 lately. Okay, so we've got Steeko on that scout. We cool to see what he does with this, because he's got a lot of nades as well to use. So there's lots of intelligent things you can do with a couple of nades with a teammate. You can also just die as well.
Yeah, you could just run in and just get shot in the chest.
Run in and die. Now, with those grenades, he could really help his teammate out as well. By tossing like a flash into the vent room, but he'll just go and die, James.
He's only got a scout. He's got a deagle as well, actually.
Oh, nice flash. Not going to pan out for him, though. And Team Devilwalk will they will cling on to dear life. So what do you think? What do you think of Devilwalk's decision? You know, going back to playing versus being on fnatic, because it's quite an interesting decision, really.
Yeah, well, I think maybe with the growth of the game, he wondered not if he made a mistake, because you can see how strong the team is now, the fnatic team, since that those changes were made. But you know, if maybe being a coach, or I mean, like there are a few ways to look at it. Like, you know, you're part of the team, and they're all your boys and so on, and you want to just roll with them. But then the other way of looking at it is, you know, you have that itch and you want to play yourself I'm sure most people would rather play than watch.
Yeah, it's about fulfillment at the end of the day, I guess. Like if you, sometimes you just got to do what you got to do.
Yeah, he's pretty young as well.
Ooh. Looks like Oscar's going to close things down. So 16-2, and this is kind of like, I guess, a story that's probably going to happen. This is like a pretty strong mixed team. You got Pitt, Stico, Oscar, Robin. That's probably like one of the strongest teams you could field out of the people that do really well in these pugs. So it'd be cool. I really want to see Flusher and Olafmeister and those guys in there at some point and Get Right and so on. It'd be quite cool. So I look forward to that. Well, this is not going to be the only show, James. So I imagine at some point we will see those people.
Yeah. I played a match with Flusher and Olafmeister as well, actually, on Cash. And I think Henry G as well.
Oh, really?
I don't know if we had a fifth.
Mr. G.
That was fun. But anyway, I think our casting has come to a close for this week's FPL show.
Yep, so that's pretty much a wrap, guys. We hope you enjoyed the show. Send us some feedback. We are going to be adding a lot to this. There's a lot of cool things that we can do, a lot of cool ideas that we have, and ways we'll be tweaking it in the future. But of course, as always, we'd love to see what you guys think and what you would like to see as well. And you can tweet any of those suggestions to us at FACEIT or to me or James, respectively. And we're going to close the show today with that little educational video that I talked about earlier. We run POVs on our YouTube channel of players who do really well in our FACEIT League, the Pro League, players from all the different regions. And I decided we should do some narrated ones. So we've got 10 rounds of Device on Cash, and this you'll also be able to find this later on FACEIT.com YouTube channel. But that is enough from me and James for tonight. We shall see you next time. Enjoy the video.